Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Neptune Sunday. It's your boy V Moss. Vogue, what's good?
Hey, it's good to see you.
So I am in a different location. I'm sitting at the dining room table at Miss Cheyenne's house, my mom in Richmond, Virginia, because obviously, if you're listening to this podcast, you know that there was a big event this weekend in Virginia that some of you may have heard of called Something in the Water. And we're here to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear all about it. I couldn't make it this time, but Vaughn was repping for the team. Tell us everything.
Man, so here we go. So obviously, like we're glad that it was back in 757 where it belonged. There was a lot of stuff going on for the area, just for the whole state, just and showcasing all the talent that we have at all these different levels, right? Like in all these different parts of culture and arts, right? Like not just about the people on the stages, like so much happening in the area and around the area. So dope to have that back in Virginia. Festival starts on Friday. So Kia and I traveled from Philly to Virginia on Wednesday. Was that Wednesday? No. Kia and I traveled to Virginia on the train early AM Thursday morning, like 4 a.m. Thursday morning. Got to Richmond, chilled, worked from home, kicked it with my mom for a little bit, low key. Then Steve picked us up on Friday to ride down. So literally, we're looking at the forecast. It's already got rain in the forecast. People have been worried about rain all weekend. And before we even get to where we're staying in Virginia Beach, there was a delay on the opening of gates. So like we knew what it was. It was off to a bad start. Also, like we're old too. So like Friday being a travel day, we did not have high expectations of being super active on Friday anyway. So once we got to our place and we ended up like, and part of us being old is like we didn't act fast enough to get one of the beachfront hotels. And then we looked at them and they were super expensive. But we ended up getting this really cool Marriott has a property that they rent for vacations. That's like a condo that's right on the water, much further down the beach. So we weren't really close. So but if you put all that together and we realize it's a rain delay, we're in a space where we have tons of room and can cook for ourselves. We went to Harris Teeter and bought food and like made our own dinner. We're like, you know what? The schedule, we really just wanted to see on Friday Wale and Jasmine. And so those were the highlights for us. Like, obviously, the festival, you are open to seeing whoever, but like, those are people that we wanted to see if we went on Friday. But then we just decided, like, by the time we got settled, we weren't going to make it to see Wale, and we were able to watch Jasmine's on YouTube. So we just punted on Friday. We didn't want to be completely old losers. So we went to R&B party in the city, not in the city, but literally on the beach, like where the festival was at one of the
Yeah.
bars on Atlantic Avenue that Stevie P, our homeboy Stevie P, and some of the people that he works with and some of the stuff that they do event-wise had an event called Hey Ma, which is an R&B party series that they have in
Oh,
757.
that sounds fun.
So shout out to CVP, shout out to homie Boss Bags. Also shout out to my boy DJ Ray Vaughn, who is a Virginia. He's a 757 guy, but he went to VCU. So like we know him from DJing in Richmond. So he literally was DJing when we walked in. It was good to see him. So Friday, not a complete wash, right? Like, we were able. I'm sorry that we missed seeing Wale. Like I said, I'm sorry that we missed seeing seeing Kid Cudi bring Pharrell out for surfing. I thought that would have been dope to see, even though as I've said before, I'm not
Yeah.
the biggest Cudi fan, but overall Friday was very chill. We were just happy to be there, but not like devastated that we missed anything.
Yeah, before you move on, I do want to say I would have loved to see Cuddy. I am a huge Cuddy fan, so I did catch a little bit of the clips online. And also another shout out to Stevie. I actually got to meet him in person since
Oh
the last time
wow.
we were. I've been to the set up here in DC, which he also is a part of. But we ran into each other, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's you!" He was like, "Why didn't you tell me you're coming out?" So it was really cool in person. Shout out to him. Hopefully, we will get to link up again.
Yeah, CVP is a good dude. We talked to him. Obviously, we saw him at that event. Talked to him about some other stuff that we were trying to do, which we'll get into that in a second. Okay, all right, you ready? So Saturday is the day, right? Like, there's a lot of people who finagle their way to get day passes just to come to Saturday. But even if you buy it for all 3 days, people like me, I just really need to see Sat. Like, that's what I'm here for. Anything else is kind of extra. It's a bonus. So we'll start off like I mentioned. CVP at another event. Like him and Boss Bags and some other people, like they work with Family on this R&B block party series that they have that we talked about when we did the preview episode. So that event was free, but there was a VIP experience that you could purchase that we bought. So the plan on Saturday was to go to that and then head to the beach for the festival. But one, we started late. We were just making too many moves. Steve ended up like driving somewhere and we were going to the wrong direction. Like, so by the time we got to the beach, we found, see, I will give Steve credit. He found like a really clutch parking spot. But by the time we got there, it was like, we didn't realize that the R&B block party was on 31st Street and the festival was like between 2nd and 15th. So like, get all the way to 31st and come back, like, and that's for us to, it would have been okay, but it also would have been cutting it close because we needed to eat and we didn't want to miss K-Tronada. So we punted on the R&B block party on Saturday because also like Mad Skills, our guy from, and DJ Lonnie B, who are from Richmond, they were DJing at the R&B block party that night. So we wanted to be there, see those guys, see Stevie P, see Mad Skills and Lonnie, like whoever. But at the same time, I also just wanted to make sure that Key got to see who she wanted to see. And like, she was adamant about K-Tronada. So I was like, yo, guys, see K-Tronada. So we punted on it, but Stevie P being a good dude that he is, I texted him, I was like, yo, bro, we're not gonna make it. Can you hold us down for Sunday? He's like, I got you. I was like, cool. And I felt much better about it. So we get some food, we're chilling. We made it to go see K-Tronada, which was really dope. I mean, he just had everyone dancing on the beach, like all of the hits, all of the things that you just realize through osmosis. Like my man is just, he makes great music that's just like got such a great energy. So it was good to see there and be in that experience that K-Tronada set, which was really dope.
Yeah, I was following along. I was surprised to see that not a lot of people that I knew were at the festival, but one person was down there in our age group, and like K-Tronada is the sell for people our age. Like that's our jam, that's our old people music. So I got to see a couple clips from that set, and I would pay any amount. I would pay for the festival just to see K-Tron. So I'm glad y'all had a good time.
He was dope. He had great energy. Vibes were immaculate. So just to mention a couple other Saturday performances before we get into the highlight. I think we saw K-Tronada on this stage, and then the opposite stage I think may have had, that might have been the same time as the Jonas Brothers, and then Machine Gun Kelly was at the stage that K-Tronada was on. And Machine Gun Kelly was like, I don't know. Like, I think we talked about this before. Like he doesn't have any music that I want to hear, but I did catch, just from being out there, I did hear him, like, I don't know if he was rapping a freestyle or if he was actually rapping the words, but I heard grinding coming from his stage, and I was like, what is happening? And so I think he just kind of rapped the first verse of grinding, which I thought was, shout out to him for reading the room and homage. You know, I totally respect it. But he also at some point during his set was like, you know what's weird? You know, people forget that I can rap. And I was like, oh man. So he took a break from his rock and roll set to do a freestyle, which was so weird because I literally just watched this video of him rapping the same exact freestyle with Corday in some random video. I was just like, wow, that's weird that he's doing this. And I literally just watched it like he's just performing this freestyle like it was the best freestyle. Anyway, it was cool.
I have a question.
Has
he moved on from rap? Because I thought that the whole point of him was he was a rapper.
That's what I'm saying. But the songs that he was performing, he had a guitar. He didn't. I don't think that he is a rapper anymore. I think he's like a rock and roll. I don't know. I'm not.
No, for me. That's homework for everyone listening to this podcast.
Yeah. Machine Gun Kelly was finishing up on that stage. Yachty is on the other end.
Oh, okay.
And Steve texted me because he had separated from us because he had VIP and he was like meeting with some people from some work people from Virginia that he knew. So he texted me and was like, yo, this Yachty set is weird. I was like, yeah, he's on some psychedelic experimental type shit now. Like that's his vibe. He was like, yo, the people love it. And I was like, yo, hey, I mean, that's the kind of stuff you get at a festival, man. Like, so that was cool. It was good to see people there rocking with my man Yachty. So ultimately the appetizer though on Saturday was Lil Wayne. So then we get back to the stage and Lil Wayne comes on. And so I don't know, man. Maybe it's because I'm not gonna be negative because I love Lil Wayne and I think that Lil Wayne is one of the greatest ever. But maybe I'm just not as much of a Lil Wayne fan as I thought I was because I just feel like he didn't do songs that moved me. Like he didn't okay, he did How to Love. Like, do you like that song? Do you know that song?
I hate that song. Actually.
He did Drop the World. Thoughts on that? So I think that there's some, because I realized, and I had this conversation with my boy Justin Tinsley and another one of our friends, B Rob, and B Rob is in LA and kind of like he's in the music industry. He was like, he reminded us that Wayne sold his publishing in 2020. So So
Oh,
there might be some limitations on stuff that he can do because he wasn't doing like there's so many hits from Carter 1 and 2 and like I want to hear The Block Is Hot and I want to hear like, you know, classic Wayne stuff. I don't really want to hear some of
I'm
the
there for like, what are we doing?
he did a millie. He did a millie. He did 6 foot. No, you know what? Maybe he did it and I missed it, but he did 6 foot, 7 foot. I don't know if he did a millie. Maybe he did. But all I'm saying is there was a couple songs that I was just like, Wayne has enough songs for there not to be any songs that make me feel like, what are you doing? And
Right.
you remember, everyone that's listening, there was this conversation sparked by the homie Low Key, shout out to Low Key, about whether Wayne could battle 50 in the verses. And if he's playing some of those songs he played at this set, Something in the Water, it's looking a little iffy, man. It's looking a little iffy.
Yeah,
But
that's the craziest I've ever heard.
so I'm just gonna chunk it to the fact that he can't play what he wants because of the legality of the publishing shit. But I did not hear the songs I wanted to hear at Lil Wayne, but it ain't about me. But I want to say a couple things about Lil Wayne too. First of all of our Lil Wayne predictions were completely like outrageously ridiculous and none of them happened. So who cares? That's what we're gonna do that every year. We're gonna guess and shoot for the moon. And we're not, I mean, if we land in the stars, whatever. Cool. The second thing is all the people on Twitter. There was one tweet that just went super viral that said, "Oh, I just saw Drake and Nicki Minaj in the hotel in Virginia Beach," and I was like, "Come on, guys,
I did see that.
what are we doing here? What are we doing here, man?" Just FYI for those listening, in case you missed it, they were not there. So
I don't know if you can tell by his tone.
making it clear, just making it clear. But it was overall, it was good to see that Wayne was in a really cool space. Like he was appreciative of being out there. Like, you know, like I said, there's hotels on the waterfront where the festival is where people like can watch from their balconies. And he made it a point to like shout out them and say how dope that was. And after every song, he said thank you. Where that's just like, yo, that's like really good energy. So shout out to Wayne. Overall, like he did some hits, which was dope. Like he had the crowd like locked in. I just wish he would have done some stuff that's more my generation. And maybe that's the problem that we're just talking about, Bo, because like we're getting too old.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, I don't know. My sister's 10 years younger than me. My other sister is 15 years. Like, I don't know what songs from Lil Wayne they're looking for, if any. And maybe they are interested in some of that stuff. We have just a very specific time in Wayne's life that like we care about.
Exactly. So part of the reason why I don't know if he did a milli or not is because as I'm looking at the clock, I know what time the Phriends is supposed to start. And I'm like, okay, you know what? We just need to start walking this way. We can still listen to Lil Wayne, but let's walk towards the other end. We missed the end of it. But the Phriends, are you ready?
I don't know if I am, but hit me.
Okay. So P comes out in his crazy ass Louis V motorcycle looking jacket that had some kind of jewels. It was way too fly. You know, the LV had a presence throughout the festival. They had this big tower that they made of LV luggage that was crazy. They had Louis V Virginians for Lover shirts that I tweeted about that cost $800, which is like, yo, but super dope that P represents them. The jacket that he had on said VA to Paris, Paris to VA. So like, shout out to P, shout out to Louis Vuitton, even though I will never own a Louis Vuitton in my life. So P comes out with his medley of his hits where he's doing his own thing solo first. He runs Mr. Me Too, Drop It Like It's Hot, Nothing, I Just Want to Love You, Lemon, Beautiful, Frontin'.
Oh my God. I would have passed out.
So he's just running through this, and he's not doing the whole songs. Like he's got a good mix, right? Like it was the hits, right? He ran through the hits.
Yeah.
After Frontin', he goes Light Your Ass on Fire, and then comes out Busta, who was a previously advertised member of the Phriends. So we knew Busta was coming. So like that wasn't a surprise, but still good to see. Great energy nonetheless, as Busta, as you would expect from him, right? So it's always dope to see P up there too, like kind of being the hype man for all these people too. Like he's a fan at the end of the day too, and in addition to him being, you know, instrumental in making some of this music happen, which was dope to see. So Busta went on a crazy run. Like he comes out to Light Your Ass on Fire, then he does Scenario. So I'm thinking, oh shit, is Q-Tip gonna come out? Which would have been crazy. Didn't happen. Then Busta does his verse from the Annie Up MOP remix, which was fire. Then he goes, Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See. finishes it, says, P, can I do it again? Runs it back. Coi Leray, who had performed earlier on Saturday, comes back out to do the Players remix with like
Oh, I
beautiful.
love it.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I tweeted that was a dope moment to be able to see how much people love and respect Busta, like to be up there and rock out songs that he has with Pharrell, MOP, Q-Tip, and Tribe Called Quest, and then Coi Leray, right? And so then Coi Leray goes off, then they go past the Cavassier, which they turned into Past the Ciroc This Way. I don't know if you heard that.
Ah,
And then Diddy
I
comes
love
out. I was just like, oh my God, shit. Diddy came out. It's like, great. Surprise number one, which was amazing. Good to see
it.
Puff. After passing Cavassier, they both like took their moment to do these thank yous and show like I love you, man, rants from P and Buster. And then Buster leaves and then starts the Diddy set. He pours out some Deleon for B.I.G. While B.I.G's verse from More Money, More Problems plays in the background. And then they go Finna Get Loose, which it's one of my personal favorites.
I do know that.
Finna Get Loose comes on, it's some shoulder work coming. Like, so it was good to see Christian ran out too, did his little thing too, which was dope.
I saw the clip there.
Yeah, man. So we got to shout out Niles, one of another former guest, Niles Vernon. He started a little conversation. He was watching from home in California, and he started a little conversation where he was like, he tweeted about how underrated that song is, and there was some back and forth. Shout out to DJ Franchise and another DJ Spider Tech who were like involved in that conversation. They disagreed. They didn't think that it was as a good song, but I love that song. So anytime I get to see Puff and P do that is amazing. After that, Puff his Benjamin's verse, which was dope. So then before he left, he went on his own I love you, man rant, and he talks about he says something about how he gave P his first check. And so I wasn't sure if he was talking about Total Boy Meets Girl or if he was talking about Mace Looking at Me. So you know me, I'm thinking Mace straight up. So I'm like, yo, is Mace about to come out and do Look at Me? What? That would be amazing. That didn't happen either. So
we've got high hopes.
you always have high hopes. So no, Mason come out. So Diddy leaves, and then the next surprise comes, and you just see Diddy's walking off, and a song plays, and I don't recognize the song. I knew it sounded like real. It sounded familiar, but I couldn't place it right away. And I didn't hear him say this at first, but P says Lola Brooke, and then the song drops, and she runs out. And I'm just like, oh shit, that song is infectious.
Yo,
like,
let me tell you, women of all ages love Lola. I would have lost my mind had I seen her come on that stage.
Bro,
crazy energy.
The energy. And it just shows you like the energy of her with just that one song. So she literally comes out and she does it a cappella to get people to sing it with her again. Then she runs it back and does it again, right? And then Lotto came out for the remix. And I was like, yo, I appreciate this, man. This is good energy, man. I don't know this song that well, but I'm a fan. I respect it.
I know that song inside and out, but she is, I would say, one of the up and coming girls. And I'd say the same for Lotto. Just they have really good live energy. They perform well together, which I think hip hop needs, because, we know the history of hip hop is not always good relationships in between artists that are upcoming. I feel like that's like the perfect thing for people to see who are like fans of hip hop.
Right. And I think the other thing that's really important too is like, it just kind of gives you a glimpse of the potential of the Phriends, right? Like, cause it's not only about Phriends who have Neptune songs or P songs, right? Like it's literally about, everybody has the respect of P. He could bring out and call whoever he wants. So you just got to be ready for that. Like, I think that sets it up for it to be, anyone could be in the Phriends.
Yeah.
Right. Which is like, you aren't thinking that when you hear the Phriends, like you're going to see Lola Brooke. So shout out to them. That was dope. So after they did that remix, P intros MIA. And so honestly, I forgot that she was on the Phriends, but so she did a song called Bad Girl, which I didn't really know. And
too much on
I'm not going to hate. I'm just going to say, I'm just giving the review, right? So both Bad Girl and then when she did Paper Planes afterwards, both of the songs just felt like they dragged on. Like they zapped the energy out because it was the whole song, right? Like we hadn't gotten the whole song. So like that kind of took the air out of it a bit. I mean, everyone knew Paper Planes, but like the vibe, like you got to remember too, like we just saw Lola Brooke come out saying, don't play with it. And then it just was different.
Yeah. yeah. And those songs were so hot. Like I know Bad Girls. Like I once an episode I've danced to Bad Girls, but those songs were like hot, what, 10, 15 years ago? Like
Right.
the crowd there may not even know those songs. You didn't know the song.
Right.
So I can see where, especially not mixed well, MIA hasn't put out any new music lately. I can see where it's kind of like just not a crowd pleaser.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I think it was good to see her though, right? Like I think it was good to see. Oh, I felt like she has a song that just came out with P that she could have done too. That I felt like people might have known. Like that came out maybe last year. It's called like Time Traveler or something like that. Like I've only listened to it a couple of times, but anyway, it was good to see her. Like Paper Planes is still a smash. I just
Yeah.
don't hear the whole song.
A couple bars is fine.
So we get into after MIA, Rocky comes out with his White T and Tim's gang to bring the energy back. I felt like he fumbled it a little bit too. Like he didn't do songs that we love, like or that we know, that everyone knows. He did a new joint that P produced for him called Roddy Piper. I think he did Praise the Lord. There was another song he did to come out, but I didn't know. I think I recognized Praise the Lord, but I'm like, yo, like where's Goldie, bro? Like where's the hits? Like we need the hits, but
I've noticed a shift. I'm a really big Rocky fan. I've noticed a shift with his music that I personally like, but that's because I like, for lack of a better way to explain it, I like head ass music. So he has a very artistic lean in his music now. It's all very esoteric, hard to explain. But again, that's not necessarily the material you want to bring out to a festival.
right.
Or like that's material for your own show where you know your fans know your music.
Right. And of course, another rumor that Rihanna was in the 7x7, she did not hit the stage either. So just FYI. So after Rocky, P gives his heartfelt intro for De La Soul, which was dope. You know, like I just felt like De La Soul just didn't fit the energy. I think it's a little bit. I think like De La Soul, and I understand why P would put De La Soul on the lineup. I feel like they should have just got their own set earlier in the day. Like adding them to the Phriends. The Phriends is just you're expecting a level of hype and surprisement and showmanship from the Phriends that like as much as people love and revere them, like you're not going to get the same energy when you hear Stakes is High or Me, Myself, and I when you just heard Pastor Cavassier, right? Like that's just it's not the same. And I think they definitely could feel that. And it's a younger crowd. The festival crowd is a younger crowd anyway. So like those people are that, especially the kids that are up front, the kids that you can, as an artist, can see, you're looking at a bunch of 18, 19, 20-year-old kids who have no idea who you are. And I thought that was unfortunate, but I do respect and I was glad to see them out there. So hopefully they get to do more stuff now that their music's on streaming and stuff like that. But yeah, shout out to them.
The kids need to know De La, but
kids need
that's
to know.
not my.
That might not be the best setting for the education right then.
No.
So to bring it all home, P brought the energy back with the surprises and brought out the one and only Christopher Brown from Tap Panic. And he did it in a way where he was like, yo, you know, before we go, got to bring up some more Virginia blood up here. And I was like, it can only be a couple people. Oh my gosh, this is it. And it was Chris Brown. And I wasn't disappointed. Like Chris Brown is my guy. Like he's from the 804. So he did These Hoes Ain't Loyal. He did Look at Me, which was dope because Busta came back out. And I wondered why Busta didn't do that verse in his set, but it makes sense because Chris came and he came back out with Chris. It's always amazing to see people when they're on the same lineup do songs together. That's very important to me. I respect them and appreciate that so much, which is weird because if you think about it, Lil Wayne was there and he did not come out for that, which I thought could have been interesting. But yeah, Chris, like Busta did his thing. Like everyone knows that song, even though you don't know what he's saying. Like, everyone just knows he's just rapping super fast. And Chris closed it with some song called Under the Influence, which I didn't really know, but it was good to see Chris Brown. Good to see him. Pharrell ended it with Get Lucky, and then it was over.
Yeah.
So
what a shout.
It's just overall my thoughts are like I think that I have to be better about realizing my own age, but also like contextually other people's ages too. So I'd look at Pharrell and remember he just turned 50. So I see him up there and he's like, he doesn't have what I know from 2008 going to a nerd concert, jumping around and stuff. And there's that weekend, the weekend is there's so much going on. I know it's got to be so taxing on him personally. Like he looks like he's 50 and tired, but at the same time, like to see him up there is dope. Like I'm not knocking that at all. It's just like my guy, you know, he looks tired, but he deserves to be tired. I mean, he's worked hard for this.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, people our age are tired at festivals, so I can only imagine him putting it on what they're going through.
Exactly. So like that's why I think, and I think that's also why it's a dope thing for him to set this table for him to have more friends that are not produced by him, so he doesn't have to be, you know, that are gonna do songs that he's not on. Like he's not expected to be doing hooks or verses and shit. Like he just comes out, introduces them, and gives them a hug, and then that's it. I do say, like, speaking of Pharrell being 50, I do feel like, especially with De La, like he was trying to do his own hip hop 50 tribute with this whole weekend. Like with you think about De La, and then Wu-Tang was supposed to be on Sunday, and then even Lil Wayne, right? Lil Wayne is expected, like, considered to be one of the best rappers alive too, or ever. So I think he did, that was important, I think, to give some history there. He definitely got to shout out how he just showed the love to the ladies on the biggest stage by having so many women incorporated in the Phriends. I think that's a big deal, especially the women rappers are killing it right now. So to have Lola come out, and then Lotto and Koi, who were already on the stage earlier that day, and have them come back out, that's a big sign. That's a big cosign, big opportunity for them. So that was dope. But overall, like, we will always overhype the potential of the Phriends, but never be disappointed by what we get. Like, it's always, whatever we come up with this in our previews is going to be super outrageous on purpose. But
yeah, I can even say this, like, before you made that point, hearing you go through the people who were brought on stage, it very much did feel like a hip hop tribute. Like Diddy, Busta, like basically one of the founding members of hip hop as we know it. Like, I feel like he did a really good job of curating that list. And the thing that I think both you and I really respect about P is, like, he always has his ear to the street, and he knows, like, who is up and coming. And also, like, he is always willing to give his cosign to talent. It doesn't matter the age, the gender, any of that. Like, he just wants to put new, fresh talent out there that people can see and engage with. So I always respect his ear and his ability to put people on.
right.
I don't think we overhyped it at all. I think it was just different than what we had laid out.
And it's also dope to see, like, that energy was reciprocated, like the way that Lola and Koi were, like, giving them a big hug and being excited, and, like, understanding how huge that moment is for them, and being thankful of being in that space with him is a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sunday, we already knew the weather forecast was bad, but we woke up and it was sunny, but the weather forecast said it was about to be really bad weather. And we had a delay. They had a delay for opening. Like, I think they delayed the pop-up church service and delayed the opening the gates before we even got out of the bed. So that's like, we knew it was going to be set the tone for that. Now, I will say, I'd already planned to watch the Miami Heat, New York Knicks game 1 of the playoffs before we went there. So, like, that was already planned. Shout out to the homie Doug Wilder, another Heat fan. He's part of the Nerd Star Trek family. We talked a little bit about that on Twitter. But as the rain got worse and the cancellation was just inevitable, like, I was just sitting in this condo on the beach drinking White Claws. Shout out to White Claw, who was a sponsor of Something in the Water as well. They gave away these really cool White Claw lapel pins, which is dope. I'm drinking the White Claw right now, actually, by the way. White Claw, we need that sponsorship deal. We need that White Claw deal. Hit us up. So I was just drinking White Claws, watching basketball, editing some clips for social media for a podcast. And then once we realized that it was like, we looked up and it was like 3:30, 4 o'clock, and they still haven't canceled it. We were like, yo, we just went downstairs to this restaurant. Crazy thing is, a place called Jose Tequilas, which I guess is like a chain in 757. They have a drink called the Pharrell. It was like tequila, it was like tequila and hypnotic. And it was hold on. I want to make sure I say exactly what's in it. I took a picture. It says simple yet refreshing. 757's finest premium tequila, hypnotic, fresh lime juice, and agave nectar. The Pharrell.
I mean, I would like to try it.
It was good. So by the time we finished eating and went back upstairs, like, I think they canceled it like right when we got back from dinner, and it was still like 7, 8 o'clock, and that's because there had been tornado warnings, and like, even though it was raining off and on, like, the wind was crazy. A tornado actually touched down in another part of Virginia Beach, which was crazy too. So once they canceled it, like, it was a wrap. We just said, hey, we had a good run. It was a good weekend, good getaway from the city. But back to our predictions. This was supposed to be Beyonce Day.
Go ahead.
This was supposed to be Beyonce Day, reminding everyone that Sunday's lineup had Grace Jones and Nile Rodgers and Chic, who are collaborators specifically on Renaissance. I feel like those were just placeholders and fronts. Like, we were going to get like legit Beyonce. We will never know. We will never know.
I'm gonna stand beside you and say, I believe you were right. I felt like that was a strong theory.
I mean, I think about it too. Like, how many songs does Grace Jones have that she could take up like a 45-minute set? Maybe not 30-minute. I mean, like, let's be real. Like, no disrespect, but I'm just saying, like, if
Vaughn, can you name a Grace Jones song? That's just purely from our age, not from anything about her talent.
Right. So, hey, maybe next year.
Yeah. Maybe. Fingers
Maybe.
crossed.
You never know.
I'm
So
still seeing it in August, so.
true, 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 true. Man. So now I'm mad. I'm hating. I didn't get to see Beyonce. So the highlights of Sunday for us were really just going to be, we wanted to see Masego, but really the big thing on Sunday's lineup was the Clips reunion. So the Clips already had this after party for yesterday schedule that I knew about, but like wasn't really pressed to go to, but considered it once they canceled yesterday. But at the end of the day, man, we just like the energy to go towards that, like find tickets for it. But at the end of the day, they basically did their set that they would have did at the festival at this restaurant, at this bar. So they bought out, obviously it's Eclipse reunion, like not the first reunion, but it's another reunion show. Bought out Ab Lava, bought out Roscoe P. Coltrane, who's fresh out of like recently released from his prison sentence a couple of months ago, I think. So dope to see both of those guys on stage with them, especially Roscoe P. I'm so mad that I missed that, but it was dope to see. Also, Sunday night before the headliner, which was Uzi, Wu-Tang was supposed to be a show. We talked about Wu-Tang being kind of this hip hop 50 that Pharrell was putting together. So shout out to the homie DJ Can Rock, who's a DJ in 757. I looked at his Twitter and Instagram. He was able to DJ for them. They just popped up at a bar on Atlantic Avenue, and then they did a set. So he got the DJ for Wu-Tang. So good to see that both of them, the Clips and Wu-Tang, were able to find places to perform for people that were still around that were able to catch them. So kudos to them. That's dope, because like people were disappointed like not getting to see them at the festival.
Yeah, yeah. You know, the consideration that I have in mind, I wonder, because I feel like this isn't the only year that suffered from a lot of weather delays. I'm wondering if moving forward, P and his team will stick to this time of year, because like the reality of being in a beachside location is just like higher incidences of rainstorms and those kind of threats at this time of year. So I wonder if there could be any positivity found in moving it a little bit. I would be interested to see if they stick with this timing moving
Yeah, I
forward.
mean it's like it's really that's the gift and the curse of it, right? Like the huge uniqueness of it is the fact that you literally are on the beach. Like they build an embankment and a wall to keep the waves from crashing over. But you know, if we had been out there, you know, we could have all been to something that's in the water when the tornado came to hit the festival, right? That would have been crazy. But you know, I mean, when it was in DC last year, it was in June and it was super hot. I mean,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
wasn't unbearable, but it was definitely warm. So like that would be way worse on the beach in June, right? Like,
yeah.
you know, there's just the weather in 757 is always going to be unpredictable. So you get what you can. You know, I think it's at the end of the day, just to recap it all, it was dope. I was glad it was back in Virginia. There was a lot of events, like I said, brunches, pre-parties, after parties, community events. Like they had a whole community stage of like Virginia and local up and coming rappers and artists that were great. You know, it was good to see like they had a BBC thing for the 20th anniversary of BBC and just a bunch of stuff that was going on that made it a cool event. I wish I got to meet, like I said, I'm really happy about the community that we're building with this podcast. I wish I got to meet some of those people in person when I didn't get a chance to. But also like another takeaway is that I'm old. I just wanted to go and have a good time and make sure that Kia had a good time and Steve was with us. Like we just had a good time. So I wasn't really intentional about like the networking and the meeting people from the podcast part of it. Like I wish I could have done more of that. But I was open to doing it only if it was organic. Like I wasn't gonna be like, okay, I gotta go to this
Yeah.
to these people. I gotta go to these people. Like it was literally about these are the places that I'm gonna go or try to go to. If I see people, great. If I don't, I don't. So maybe next year I'll take that. I'll be more intentional about that.
We're gonna get multivitamins before next year.
Steve's proposed plan is for us to like, he may have a way, I don't want to give people a secret, but like we may figure out how to get one of the rooms on the water just to have it,
Yeah.
but we still stay out in the same place that we did to get away from it. Because like that stuff probably people were out there until 2, 3 in the morning making noise and out. Like, you know, the old people need to go to sleep. So like if we just had that one room that was like the party room, but everyone left there and went somewhere else, like to actually stay, we'll see.
I mean, one of the things I have not been able to go since the inception of Something in the Water. I haven't been there. I bought tickets the first year and I couldn't make it. And I've just had stuff every year, but I love to see what you were talking about, which is like the community events that happen, people put together stuff of their own that, you know, go in hand with the festival. I think that's really exciting. It's really, I mean, Pharrell knows that, right? It's really invigorating for the community around the 757. So that's one of my favorite things to hear about and hopefully experience at some point.
Yeah, man. It was dope. dope. It definitely was dope. There's a lot of good energy, a lot of good vibes. So looking forward to next year. I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like P wants to make it bigger and better. So I'm excited about that. I think there probably was some, not challenges, but probably like some specific intentional strategic things that they did because it was the first time coming back and wanted to make sure that it was, big, but also like just in really involve the community. So like I think it'll be dope to see how it goes and how it grows next year. Hopefully me and Vogue will be down there. We got
Hopefully.
to, and by next year, I want someone to like, the goal that we're gonna set is they're gonna give us our own podcast hosting stage.
Yeah.
Where we'll do interviews with people and all this other stuff. Well, let me not give away the ideas now. Anyway.
No, I also have a dream for the future of, our life in music now. While everyone was enjoying themselves at the concert, I was in DC, partially resting, but partially. If you follow us on social media, if you follow me specifically, you probably have seen that me and my friend Jasmine will be hosting this event this Thursday. We'll be hosting it every first Thursdays or something like that at City State Brewery in DC. It is called Bracket and Brews. I'm sure all of you have heard the Bracket episode from this podcast, which was a smash with Vaughn and his people. I actually have had a couple of bracket parties for my own birthday stuff that we do with small groups, but we decided in that community aspect, which is why I love it, we wanted to take these conversations into a bigger space and give people the opportunity to not only like sign up to come, but also just walk in and join the conversation. So our first show is this Thursday, and I was spending this weekend doing a lot of the planning for that.
So talk to us about what's the bracket, Vogue?
The bracket for this session is #1 crossover hit of all time. And so when I say crossover hit, I actually think that this idea was spawned by NSYNC and Nelly doing Girl. That whole story really inspired me. I'm not kidding. Like I told that story to Jasmine. I was like, they thought Nelly was ruining his career when he did this song. And so it's the songs like that like, even the songs that weren't necessarily cross genre, but did really well in audiences that like we didn't expect them to. We picked songs like that people get really excited about, like Party in the USA. That's definitely still a pop song, but like I definitely remember dancing in the club to Party in the USA. So I'm really excited to see the conversation. I have the #1 song that is on the bracket that everyone is going up for is Numb and Encore. So I'm excited to see what the challenge to that song will be. Look at your face. No, people are like, I will fight to the death for this song.
That's the top ranked song?
I mean, I don't do the scientific method that Vaughn does, and I'm like, see. I just pick songs. I don't watch sports, but I got like some early feedback. I did a couple polls and people were like, this is the song. So we'll see. It also might be a Jay-Z Beyonce off because Daddy Lessons is in there.
Is Justin on there with Chris Stapleton?
Oh, Vaughn, no. Justin is only on the NSYNC song. He actually almost made it for Senorita, but that narrowly missed the bracket. The big dream, the reason I share this with you guys is #1, if you're in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, please come out this Thursday. It's free. Buy a beer. You'll have a good time. It's in Northeast DC. But also, hopefully, maybe one day we'll have our own event at Something in the Water. We can host our own live bracket. That would be dope for us to do.
Yep.
Yep. I see the little wheels.
Yes. We'll make it happen. That is our goal for us to have a presence at Something in the Water next year. But if you're in DC, make sure to go check out this event. It's going to be dope. If you listen to this podcast, you understand how energetic and how passionate people get during these bracket conversations. If you think that me and my boys were intense, just wait till you get Vogue and her friends together talking about, Numb and Encore. We got Justin Timberlake, Nelly. I can't wait to see who the winner is. I'll just say that.
I'm excited. I almost beat people up at my birthday. So that's the kind of energy we got going on. It'll be fun.
All right, folks. Well, we appreciate you listening. Something in the Water was dope. Looking forward to it again next year. Shout out to P and everyone involved for bringing everyone together, all the love and all the energy. Super unfortunate that the weather didn't cooperate. I had to cancel Sunday, but at the end of the day, lots of positive, lots of dope moments for everyone that attended or watched at home on the YouTube stream. Appreciate you guys listening to us. It's still early. We still got some tricks up our sleeve. So we're looking forward to to the rest of this great year for season 3 of Neptune Sunday. Appreciate y'all listening. Catch us next Neptune Sunday. Peace and love.